The King's Shadow. David's perspective. Night had settled over Jerusalem like a heavy cloak, thick and breathless. The air was warm, too warm for the season, and the weight of sleeplessness pressed against my temples. Kings should rest after battle, but rest fled from me. Joab and the army were away fighting Rabbah. The palace felt strangely hollow without the sound of men preparing for war. Restless, I walked to the rooftop, seeking the cool breath of the night. That's when I saw her. A woman still, graceful, unaware of any eyes upon her, bathing by lamplight in the courtyard of a home below the palace wall. The glow of the water shimmered across her shoulders. Steam curled in the night. There was something haunting about her, something that pierced deeper than beauty. My heart lurched, startled by a desire I did not expect nor welcome. I should have turned away. I knew it instantly, but I didn't. A second look became a longer one, and my mind, usually a fortress, opened a door I should have kept barred. Temptation whispered like a serpent in my ear. Who is she? Why is she there? Why tonight? A king should not be ruled by longing. Yet longing wrapped itself around me like a tightening vine. Find out who she is, I ordered a servant, unable to silence the storm within me. Minutes later, he returned, breath uneven. Her name is Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah the Hittite. Uriah, one of my mighty men, loyal, brave, devoted. Another reason to walk away. But desire is a strange enemy. It doesn't strike with swords, but with whispers. It does not charge the gates. It waits for the moment you leave them unguarded. Bring her to me, I heard myself say. Even now, I can still feel the dread that followed that command, a dread I ignored. She came quietly, wrapped in modest garments, her eyes lowered as she entered my chamber. Fear trembled in her voice. Duty weighed on her shoulders. She had no choice. Kings do not summon without purpose. I should have released her. But the shadows of my heart were louder than the warnings of my conscience. What happened that night felt like fire consuming, blinding, and yet afterward, guilt settled over me like falling ash. I knew what I had done. I knew it was sin, no matter how my heart tried to wrap it in excuses. Days passed. Then the message came, a small parchment, 3 words that shook me more than any battlefield. I am pregnant. My stomach dropped. The room spun. Uriah, a loyal soldier, a man fighting my war while I sinned against him. Fear rushed, in fear of exposure, of consequences, of the kingdom's trust shattered like clay. Sin's shadow lengthened. I sent for Uriah, crafting a disguise of kindness. Come, rest from battle, I told him, hoping he would return home, hoping the truth might disappear in domestic innocence. But he was more honorable than I. My lord Joab and the servants of my king sleep in the field, he said, refusing to go to his home. How can I enjoy comfort while they endure hardship? His righteousness condemned me more deeply than any prophet. I tried again, food, wine, encouragement, but Uriah would not bend. Desperation makes fools of kings. I wrote a letter, God forgive me, a letter that Uriah himself carried back to Joab, a letter that sealed his fate. Set Uriah at the front of the fiercest battle, then withdraw from him. Even now, those words burn my mind. When the report returned that Uriah was dead, I felt the earth tilt beneath me. I had taken his honor, then his life. and placed the weight of my sin in the hands of faithful men who had no idea what they carried. Bathsheba mourned. I brought her to my house afterward, making her my wife, but the walls of the palace whispered the truth of what I had done. Every corridor felt colder, every shadow deeper. Sin that begins in desire always ends in death. When Nathan the prophet came, I already knew. His parable cut deep, exposing the rot I had tried to bury. "You are the man," he said, and those words struck harder than Goliath ever could. My heart broke. The guilt I had tried to outrun finally overtook me. I fell to my knees. I wept until the stone floors blurred. I begged for mercy, not as a king, not as a warrior, but as a man who had sinned against the God who lifted him from shepherd fields to thrones. Bathsheba's sorrow, Uriah's blood, my own hardened heart. Only the Lord could cleanse what I had stained. Against you, and you only, have I sinned, I cried. And the prayer became a psalm, Psalm 50, one the cry of a broken king seeking a merciful God. The consequences were heavy. The child we conceived in sin was taken, and grief wrapped around Bathsheba and me like a shroud. Yet in that grief, I found repentance. And in repentance, God restored what I had shattered slowly, painfully, but faithfully. He gave us another son, Solomon, a reminder that God redeems even the darkest chapters when we return to Him. But I never forgot the rooftop, the moment temptation whispered, the shadow lengthening behind me. I never forgot the night desire opened the door to ruin, and I never forgot the mercy that followed. For even in the deepest cave of my sin, the Lord remained the light that refused to die. If you have enjoyed this faith-filled story, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you won't miss the faith within